Hi, I'm Alicia Van Borssum. I've never met Chris or Tobie, but we have kind of the same thing to say, and it's really interesting to see it from our different perspectives. I'm pretty sure that Eric invited me as the counterexample. So here we go. I'm working at the university as a project coordinator for the CELS grant, which is Collaborating for English Language Learner Success. It's a national professional development grant with three really important strands. We're providing scholarships for certification for teachers of English to speakers of other languages. We're developing and delivering professional development for educators all over the area, ESL teachers, but also teachers of all content, as well as school counselors and school administrators. And we're also creating some curriculum for speakers, English language learners. So that's what I do here. My own background is that I've taught English as a second language for 30 years, K to 12, sometimes in the same day, K to 12, depending on where I was. And during the time that I was teaching, I was also sharing my own professional practice with other teachers for really a good bit of my career. In 2007, I decided I wanted to get a doctorate. Thanks again to the taxpayers of Greece for providing me with that opportunity. I came in thinking I was going to talk about social studies, and I ended up studying the literacy practices of teachers and librarians in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. It was a crazy way that happened, and someday I'll tell you about that. It was a wonderful experience, and I finished my doctorate in 2012. And then my last sort of learning thing was online teaching and learning courses, which I took last spring and summer. I was actually volunteered to do that, and as I say, I came into it kicking and screaming. Don't believe in online learning. That's not the way to learn. You've got to do it face to face, and so forth and so on. But I was volunteered to do that. That's also another long story. But so I said, okay, I'll do it. And then I fell down off a curb in Austin, Texas. And so my very first class last January was from a hospital bed with my legs straight up in the air. So this face-to-face course, the first course of online teaching and learning, I took by Skype, and I was with my foot on the sofa for 4 months. I couldn't drive. I only came in twice to do some work with some group work. But it totally worked, and it also really changed my mind because I experienced it myself. It was a very bad place for me. I am not somebody who likes to just hang out. And to have taken this course online myself, it was really stimulating to me intellectually and kept me very busy when I was in such a bad place. So the kicking and screaming, kind of subsided a little. But the thing was that I was supposed to teach a course starting in June. And I finished that very first course. Hey, I'll take the first course. I'll be ready to teach one, right? Maybe not. I finished in May, and I was supposed to start teaching in June. So I went into the second course, which is designing online learning. And poor Eric had to kind of accelerate me in this summer course, which is already an accelerated course, because I had to be on the ground running with this whole course ready to roll by the 29th of June. And guess what? I was. I just about did myself in, though. It was insane, and I don't recommend it. But it happened, and it was great. So let me tell you about the course. The course is called EDE 476. It's for teachers who are not English who do not teach English as a second language. It's for everybody else who has those kids in their class, and they don't know what to do with them. It was a free course. We offered it through the grant the summer before, last summer, and we'll do it one more time. And it was content teachers from all over the area, literally K to 12, experts in early childhood, in middle childhood, in adolescence. We had orchestra teacher, a PE teacher, we had a technology teacher, we had specialists in social studies, we had specialists in ELA, we had K to 12, we had math specialists, we had everybody, people from 0 years experience of teaching to 35 years of teaching. So like Tobie, it was an unbelievable experience for me. The course was delivered also as a hybrid. We met on Mondays, and then we met, but we didn't meet. It was asynchronous. The rest of our work was considered on Wednesdays, but it was really kind of like Chris was talking about, kind of a flipped sort of approach. And it was just, the kicking and screaming subsided even more at that. It was just amazing. It was such a great experience. I have to say that the kinds of lessons that I learned about it was that the way that the courses are set up here to get a certificate in online teaching and learning it's really, really well done and very well. The instructional design is fabulous, because one of the things that's provided when you are designing your own course is a template. It was a real lifesaver. It made me, doing this, especially being so stubborn and so unbelieving of it, it made me really very deliberately consider my own instructional design, and which is an unbelievably labor-intensive process, but so worthwhile, because I just dug so deep into what was important, what was essential for people to know. I love at Warner, in any case, the whole idea of Wiggins' understanding by design, backward design, of thinking, what are your goals? What is it going to look like, and how are you going to get there? And that was very, very helpful. And like Tobie said, and like Chris said, technology was not the hard part, because somebody was helping me with that. The hard part, but in a good way, the hard part was that thinking and revisiting a syllabus and really imagining what was important. As for what did I learn, it's funny because Chris said, he felt like it was hard for the shy people. For me, it was like, oh my God, all these shy people came out of the woodwork, because they would say nothing in class on Mondays. And then these unbelievable insights online. And I'm like, I want to whop them upside the head, say something, right? But they would never say anything in class, but they were so outgoing online. So it was really wonderful to get, to know that there was all this thinking going on, and there was a forum for both kinds of learners. The ones who like to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and the ones who like to think and talk, sort of have time to talk, and do that textually, right? And I feel like, and I never thought I would say this, I feel like I got to learn to meet all those people as well as thinkers, because in a class, it was kind of a big class for a Warner class. It was 25 students. I don't think I would have gotten to know them as well as I did if it had been just face-to-face, as well as I did online. And then the student interaction was fantastic. People you would think would never be buddies, like the orchestra teacher and the ELA teacher from, the orchestra teacher in an urban district and the ELA teacher that's way out in the boonies and the Finger Lakes were like best friends, and we're giving each other so much, both online and together, that the interaction was just fantastic. So, even though I'm really stubborn, I have to say that, I really believe in it now. It was a great experience for me as a professional, and Tobie mentioned the word creativity as well. I felt like it as an educator, it wasn't like wah 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 wah, like I was just moving something over onto the computer. It was a real creative experience for me. It made me rethink everything, all these lectures that I have, in my file cabinet. It made me really rethink them and think about what was essential. I felt like there was so much more interaction and greater richness and discussion, and you can do it in your pajamas. Hello, what could be better, right? There are disadvantages, and that's the one that I would say. Don't start trying to redo a syllabus. Don't do online design and try to teach it at the same time. That was pretty much insane. And the other thing that I couldn't stop doing was checking in. So, right, they have a whole week to do this, but every 10 minutes I'm looking to see if somebody, has posted anything or whatever. And that was really addictive for me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm doing this from 6 o'clock in the morning until midnight. I'm like, yeah, but I'm doing that to myself, right? I don't need to do that. So there were things that I needed to learn to figure out how I don't have to be that much of a mother hen and that supportive to my students. I need to figure out, how to do that in a more in the same kind of fashion you would do in a regular classroom. That's my story.